Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Leanna. Today I'm doing 5 looks, 1 palette featuring the Hasina 2 from Blush Tribe. My friend Kalina, aka Zebra Warrior Paint, was kind enough to send me her spare palette. This is what it looks like. It's got purples, greens, and blues, and it's very beautiful. So we did a sort of makeup swap and she sent me this. She ended up with 2, I guess. One got lost in the mail and then she requested another one. They sent it to her and then the other one showed up in the mail. So I got this one. And yeah, so I came up with 5 different looks. There are so many different color combinations you could come up with this palette, but I came up with these 5 and I hope you enjoy them. This is the 5th look on my face today. And yeah, I used every single shade in this palette. So this isn't a review, however, I'm going to kind of tell you how each shade performs as I go along. And if you have any other questions, just let me know down below. So let's just get into the 5 looks. I'm starting off with the Hasina 2 palette and taking the shade Iris. This is a matte sort of pink purple shade and I'm putting that through the crease. This is a little bit less pigmented than some of the other shades, but it is paler. It does build well. Next I'm taking the shade Anika or Annika, which is a matte cobalt blue in the pan, however it's a little bit more of a periwinkle or sky blue when blended really softly like this. And I'm blending that through the inner portion of my crease and lid with the same fluffy brush. This is a very dry and dusty shade, however it does build and blend well and it blends into the shade Iris very well. I am also taking more Iris and blending the 2 shades together just back and forth. Next I'm taking the shade Mohan or Mohan. This is a very bright amethyst purple. It's a matte shade on this Sigma E36 blending brush and I'm just blending that through the socket area of my crease. This shade is very pigmented. It is a little bit patchy, but it does end up blending well. I'm going back in with that bigger blending brush. It's clean at the moment and I'm just blending back and forth. And then I'm taking a mix of the 2 purple shades on the smaller blending brush and going back and forth. And now I'm taking more Iris on the big blending brush and blending over the whole thing before taking more Anika on the inner portion of my lid on a flat shader brush. I'm taking the shade Grain, which is a shimmery purple on the outer corner of my lid. This is prior to wetting, and then this is after wetting. It does boost the shimmer quite a bit. On the center of the lid, I'm taking the shade Fey, which is a metallic silver blue, and I am using this wet just to create a nice boost of shine. And then I'm just going to go back and forth between Grain and Fey to create a nice blend. Now I'm taking more Anika on the inner portion of my crease and more Mohan on the outer portion of my crease. I'm putting Anika on the inner corner of my lower lash line and I'm going to put Mohan on the outer portion. For the inner corner of my eye, I'm taking the shade Jade, which is a metallic mint green, and I'm just using my finger for that. And then using the Milk Makeup Kush Mascara on each eye. For the brow bone, I'm taking Pink Opal from the Alchemist palette. And this is the finished eye look. And this is the full face. I'm starting with the shade Re through my crease. This is a matte teal shade. It's very bright, it's very pigmented. It did blend a little bit better on one side versus the other, but I think that's just my fault. I tend to have a better time blending on one side now versus the other, so... Next I'm taking the black shade Ash and putting that all over the lid. It's not quite matte, I think it's actually a little bit satin, and I don't know if you can see here, but it does seem to like stick down in one place and then I can't pack it on other areas, so I have to keep dipping in over and over. But it is fairly pigmented. It's not the most pigmented black I've ever used, but it's certainly not the least pigmented, so it's pretty good. So now I'm just taking the previous brush I used through the crease, a big blending brush, and I'm blending the two shades together. It did a pretty good job of not wiping away too much black, and the two shades blended together really nicely. So I'm just adding a little bit more ash up on the crease area with the packing brush. And this time when I go back in with the blending brush, I am adding a little bit of extra teal. I'm going in with the Essence Long Lasting Eye Pencil in Black Fever just to make sure that there are no gaps on my lash line. And also putting that on my inner rim, even though I like never do this, but it just felt necessary because I really didn't like the appearance of having little gaps showing with so much black. I'm also taking that along the lower lash line and then smudging that with a finger. On top of that, I'm just taking a small brush and blending a little bit more of that teal shade. For the inner corners, I'm taking the shade Fay, which is the metallic silver blue. On the brow bone, I'm taking Blue Sapphire from the Alchemist palette. For mascara, I'm using the one from Pura Nada. This is their black shade. As well as the Milk Makeup Kush Mascara. I'm also adding a little bit of glitter. This is the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Liner in Pyro, which is an iridescent glitter. This is the finished eye look. And this is the full face. I'm starting with the shade Aran through my crease, and this is a matte grass green. This is very pigmented and blends very well. Next I'm taking the shade Mani, which is this sort of dark olive in the pan, but it came out more like a dark teal, maybe because I was blending it into the shade Aran. Now the two shades blended together okay, but I did find that this shade was a bit patchy. I'm going to cut my crease now, and for that I'm using the ColourPop No Filter Concealer in Fair 02. And a flat Wet n Wild small concealer brush. just using a little bit of translucent powder to set each lid. Next I'm going to use the color Shea and put that over the outer 2/3 of my lid using a flat brush. And this is a shimmery olive green, definitely an olive green, unlike Mani, which turned out to be a bit teal. And this is definitely a shimmer, not a metallic. Even after wetting the brush, it just wasn't super reflective. I'm not sure if they're marketing this one as a metallic or not. It's very pretty, it's just not highly reflective. On the inner portion of my lid, I'm taking Jade, which is that metallic mint green. This is much more reflective than what Shea is, so I would say that they have a few different sort of shimmer formulas, some metallic and some just shimmers. I'm taking more Mani on a Sigma E36 and just darkening up my socket a little bit. And now taking more Erin through the crease and blending that. On the lower lash line, I'm taking Mohan, which is the bright matte purple. On the inner corner, I'm taking Monique, which is a shimmery lilac shade, very pale shade. On the upper lash line, I'm drawing a wing with the NYX Vivid Brights eyeliner in Vivid Violet, which is, of course, violet. At the very tip of the wing, I'm drawing 2 dots. And because this eyeliner formula cracks a bit, I'm going over that with a little bit of Mohan since it's the same shade. Just taking a flat liner brush and going over that. I'm using the Milk Makeup Kush Mascara. As well as the Pura Nada mascara in black. This is the completed eye look. And this is the full face. This next look was inspired by my dear friend Maria over on Instagram. I'm starting with the shade Pear by Igneous Cosmetics through the crease. This is a matte yellow-green, and it's the only time I'll be using a shade outside of the palette. Next, I'm taking the shade Mahia. I hope I am saying that right. And I'm putting that in the inner portion of my crease. It's a little bit more of a brighter shade than Erin was. Erin has a little bit more yellow to it than this does. This is more neon green. And I'm also taking that down to the bridge of my nose. Next, I'm taking the shade Anika. That's the matte bright blue on the outer corner of my eye, taking that through the outer crease and also on the outer lower lash line. And I did switch brushes to a flat shader brush. I'm taking more of that shade Pear through the crease on that very first brush I used. And then I'm going to take my Sigma E36 and Anika and blending that into Pear. I'm going to take a mix of the shade Re and Mani, that's the teal and the olive green, and I'm going to put that right on the edge of Anika, the blue shade, and Pear, just to blend everything together. I'm adding a little bit more Anika with that flat shader brush. I'm taking the shade Monique, which is a metallic lilac shade. I'm using that on my finger to pat that all over the bare space on my lid. I'm taking that same shade Monique on a flat shader brush just to reach the spaces I couldn't with my finger and put that on the inner corner and inner lower lash line. I'm blending more of that blue shade Anika over the lid. Now, one thing I noticed is that the mattes don't seem to want to blend well over the shimmers, so it took a lot of layering and building to get that to show up once I had a shimmer on my lid. Just something to note. I eventually was just like, fuck it, I'm switching brushes. I need something that's a bit more dense. So I switched to a shader brush after a little while and did the other side. For the middle lower lash line, I'm taking Mina or Mina, and that's a sort of shimmery pool looking blue. On the brow bone, I'm taking Green Emerald from the Alchemist palette. And I'm going to layer Blue Sapphire on the middle lower lash line. Now I'm just doing a little bit of last minute blending. Maria didn't wear mascara, but I'm putting on some Pura mascara and making a mess as usual. This is the completed eye look. And this is the full face. I'm starting with the shade Destiny, and I'm taking a big fluffy brush and putting that all over the inner portion of my lid and inner crease. This is a pastel fuchsia shimmer. Next, I'm taking Jade. This is a metallic mint green, and I'm putting that on the inner portion of my lid and inner crease with the same brush. Lastly, I'm taking Mina or Mina, I still don't know, with the same brush, and I'm putting that on the outer lid and outer crease. This is a shimmery blue shade that kind of reminds me of a pool. Now I'm taking a smaller shader brush and I'm going over the inner portion of my lid and crease, and I'm just going to go over each shade individually to create a seamless blend. On the lower lash line, I'm starting on the outer corner and taking that blue shade Mina. Then I'm putting Jade in the center of the lower lash line. And Destiny on the inner portion of the lower lash line. For my inner corners and brow bones, I'm taking M Cosmetics Cream Pearl Highlighter, which is a white with a very slight pink shift. And I'm using the Sigma E36 brush to just very slightly blend over the edges in the crease. To finish, I'm adding a coat of Pura Black Mascara. This is the finished eye look, and this is the full face.
So
that's it. Those are the 5 looks. If you have any questions about any of the looks that you saw, any of the products used, just check the description. I usually link everything there. And let me know which look was your favorite. If you plan to recreate any of these looks, just obviously feel free to. I would love to see your interpretation of these. I post Mondays and Fridays here on this channel in the afternoons Eastern Time, and I hope to see you soon. Bye everyone.